Hi and welcome back to Mark Deeks Music. In this week's video, I'm going to show you how to expand your chord knowledge on the piano really quickly. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, don't forget to like the page to make sure you get these videos as soon as possible. If you want them sent to your inbox, then go to markdeeksmusic.com/beginner and I'll send you a free beginner piano lesson straight away. So let's get started. So first of all, we have to talk about what is a chord. Some of you might not know what a chord is. So in really simple terms, chords are when we start to combine individual notes together. So if we're playing it one note at a time, that's not a chord. When you start to have two or three notes, now we're starting to talk about chords. Chords can have many more notes than that, usually no more than 7, but that's for another day. They start to get pretty complicated. The most common chords you'll hear musicians talk about have 3 notes. Right now, we're not going to worry too much about what the notes are or how we find them in musical keys. We're just going to start getting our hands on the piano and see if we can quickly expand some chord knowledge for you on the piano. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to learn about how you shape your hand and which fingers you should be using if you're going to be playing chords. And the thing I want you to start with getting used to is we're going to be using your thumb, your middle finger and your little finger. And if you've seen some of my other videos on fingering and some basic finger exercises, if you haven't checked those out, we are looking at numbering our fingers from 1 to 5 when we're playing the piano. And our thumb is number 1 and our little finger is number 5, and they go through in sequence. And that's the same on the left hand as well. But right now, even if you're left-handed, I want you to try and do this exercise with your right hand. There's a video also somewhere on my channel if you're not used to finding the note that's called middle C. Check that out if you're not. But if you can, remember or you know how to find middle C, that's the note that we're going to be starting with right now for this week's video. And I want you to put your right hand thumb on that note. And make sure that each of your fingers is on each of the next notes going up the piano. So you've got your thumb on a C, your second finger on a D, your middle finger, that's number 3, on an E, your fourth finger on an F, and your little finger on a G. Remember, you should try and keep your wrist roughly the same height as the top of the keys. Lightly curve your fingers like you've got a sort of a tennis ball in your hands. Turn that over. And what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and play numbers 1, 3 and 5 at the same time in order to form your first chord. Now at first, whilst that looks and sounds quite simple, you might find that quite tricky. Don't panic about that. That might take a little bit of practice, what I've just shown you. So feel free to sort of pause the video whilst you have a go at that. But the things to watch out for, to try and avoid, are we want all 5 fingers, even if they're not being used at any particular time, to be close to the keys, ideally touching the keys, just not pressing them down. And when we press down the ones that we want, which in this case are 1, 3 and 5, we don't want the other fingers to fly in the air. So can you see that? I'm trying to avoid this. I don't want the other fingers to point away from the keys. I want to try and keep them close to the keys. So even though I'm using 1, 3 and 5, I don't want 2 and 4 to leave the surface of the keys. And as I say, that might take a bit of practice at first, so don't worry about that if it does. Once you've got your hand in that shape and you're comfortable with being able to press those 3 notes at once, and that's another thing to watch out for. When people first start to learn to do these kind of things, they sometimes don't quite get all 3 notes to go down at the same time, and you hear this kind of thing. It's like this kind of staggered ricochet kind of effect. You're trying to get one sound from 3 notes. Once you've got your hand used to being in that shape and you think you can get those 3 notes down at the same time, what I want you to try and do is, keeping your hand in exactly the same shape, I want you to move everything 1 note to the right. And then do it again. And then do it again. And you'll notice that what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep my hand in exactly the same shape as I move up the keyboard. I'm not kind of moving one finger at a time, then readjusting, then readjusting. I want the whole thing to move in one shape. And when your thumb lands on the next C, remember the C is the white note just to the left of two black notes. When your thumb got to the next C, it started on the C. When we've got as far as a C again on our thumb, that's when you're going to stop. So you should have played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chords. And then I want you to come back down again. So again, the hand staying in the shape all the time, we're just moving the whole arm side to side. And that's 8 different chords. Now, I don't expect us to learn in this tip video what they're all called, but I'm going to introduce you to 2 different words. One's called major and one's called minor. For the purpose of this video, we're not going to worry about what that means, but I just want you to understand that they are 2 types of chord, 2 different combinations of notes. And some of the chords that you've just played are major chords, and some of the chords you've just played are minor chords. There's one that's neither, and I'm not worrying about that right now. But you've just played 3 major chords and 3 minor chords, and then the one that wasn't, and then we had one that was the same as the one that we started on. So the first one that you played and the 4th one that you played, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one you played, 1, 4, and 5, they are major chords. All right, 1, 4, and 5 major chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we name them based on the note that is the lowest note. So the note that's in your thumb, because remember, notes on the piano get lower as they go to the left. So the note that's on your thumb, so in this case that was a C, so I would call this chord C major because it's a major type of chord. We name chords with 2 parts, the note the chord's based on and the type of chord. So that's C major. And then I said number 4 was a major as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an F. So that's F major, chord of F major. And number 5 was a major 2. And that was based on a G. So that's G major. So you've played chords of C major, F major, and G major. All right? And I said you've also played 3 minor chords. That's 2, 3, and 6. 2, 3, and 6. So the second chord we played looked like that. And our thumb is now on a D. So that's D minor. D minor. Number 3 was a minor as well. Now my thumb's on an E. So that's E minor. And number 6 was a minor as well. 4, 5, 6. Now my thumb's on an A minor. Now I've thrown a lot of information in this video, and I don't want you to get too confused or panic. I just want you to enjoy the fact you just learned how to play 6 chords. But I promised you at the start of this video that I was going to show you a quick way to expand your chord knowledge. You might not necessarily learn what they're all called at the same time, but you're going to find roughly how they're connected to each other. And the difference is this. If you have a major chord, so when we had major chords, we had them on 1, 4, and 5. If you have a major chord and you want to turn it into a minor chord based on the same note, I want you to take the middle note of the 3 that you're playing and move it 1 note down the piano. Now remember, that includes black notes and white notes as well, not just on the white notes, black notes as well. We're going to move it 1 note down the piano. We're going to make it 1 note lower, or to use the musician's term, we're going to flatten the note. So I would take this note and I would move it to there. We're not going to worry about what it's called right now, but I'm telling you, if you have a major chord and you flatten the middle note, you turn it into a minor chord. So now I'm playing C minor, right? So if I have a major chord and I want it to become a minor, I flatten the 3rd, and that's how a musician would describe it. That's proper musician speak, that, flattening the 3rd. Likewise, if I want to do it the other way around, so number 2, the chord number 2 before was a minor chord. We had D minor. If I have a minor chord and I want to make it a major chord, then we just do the reverse. I take the middle note and I move it one note up the piano, one note to the right, one note higher, or to use the musician's term, we sharpen the note. So now I have a chord of D major. I had D minor, I moved the middle note up one, or to use the correct term, I sharpened the note, and now I've got a chord of D major. So there's a stack of information for you there. No matter, and that works on any major or minor chord. If you have a major chord and you want to turn it into a minor, flatten the middle note, flatten the third. If you have a minor chord and you want to turn it into a major, sharpen the middle note, sharpen the third, put it up one. And that'll work on any major and minor chord. And that way you can quickly expand your chord knowledge, because no matter what chord you have, you can make it the opposite just by moving that middle note. There's loads for you to practice there. I want you to go away and just experiment. Stick your hand anywhere on the piano. Feel free to do that. Stick your hand on 3 notes and go, right, what have I got? See if I can work out the structure. Does that sound like a major or a minor chord? Move the middle note, either one note up or down. See if you recognize it. See if it sounds like the same type of chord as the ones that you've already learned. I'm going to keep bringing you these videos every week because I'm really determined to help you become a piano legend. But what I want you to do right now, if this was a bit advanced for you and you want something right back to the basics, right back to the beginning, go to markdeeksmusic.com/beginner and I'll send you the very, very first piano lesson straight to your inbox just for you. Don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate your support, and there'll be more videos next week. Take care.